A bloodbath in South America, the devastating legacy of the Chaco War. The arid plains of the Gran Chaco, a desolate region straddling Paraguay and Bolivia, became the unlikely stage for one of the bloodiest conflicts in South American history. The Chaco War, of 1932 to 1935. We will explore the complex web of factors that ignited the war, the brutal realities of combat in the unforgiving environment, and analyze the war's enduring impact on both nations. A hunger for resources lay at the heart of the conflict. The Chaco, long disputed territory, was believed to be rich in oil. This perception, fueled by unconfirmed geological surveys, ignited nationalistic fervor in both Paraguay and Bolivia. Bolivia, a landlocked nation yearning for an outlet to the Atlantic Ocean, viewed the Chaco as a potential route to trade and resources. Paraguay, on the other hand, saw the Chaco as a vital part of its national territory, determined to defend its sovereign claims. Nationalistic fervor, skillfully manipulated by political leaders, further escalated tensions. In Bolivia, military leaders saw the Chaco as a proving ground to restore national pride dented by territorial losses in the 19th century. Paraguayan leaders, facing internal political turmoil, used the dispute to rally national unity and deflect attention from domestic problems. The war itself was a brutal affair, characterized by primitive tactics and appalling conditions. Soldiers on both sides, poorly equipped and ill-prepared for the harsh climate, faced scorching heat, dehydration, and disease. Trench warfare, reminiscent of the First World War, dominated the early stages of the conflict. Later, the war devolved into a series of bloody skirmishes and battles for strategically vital water sources. The human cost of the Chaco War was staggering. Estimates suggest that over 100,000 soldiers perished from combat, disease, and exhaustion. The war also inflicted deep economic wounds on both nations. Vast resources were squandered on a conflict that yielded no tangible benefits. Furthermore, the war left a legacy of social trauma, with countless families shattered and a generation of young men lost. The war's impact transcended the immediate battlefield. In Bolivia, the military's role in politics was significantly strengthened. The war's disillusioning outcome contributed to a period of political instability that would plague the nation for decades. In Paraguay, a sense of national pride emerged from the ashes of defeat. However, this victory came at a devastating cost, hindering economic development and leaving deep societal scars. The Chaco War serves as a potent reminder of the dangers of unchecked nationalism and resource-driven conflicts. It highlights the devastating consequences of poorly planned and executed wars, particularly when fought in harsh environments. The war's legacy continues to resonate in the Gran Chaco, a region forever marked by the ghosts of a conflict fueled by greed and nationalistic fervor. Beyond the immediate historical context, the Chaco War offers a broader lesson. It underscores the importance of peaceful dispute resolution mechanisms and the need for responsible leadership that prioritizes diplomacy over bloodshed. Furthermore, the war's human cost serves as a stark reminder of the ultimate toll paid by ordinary soldiers caught in the maelstrom of geopolitical ambitions. A nation on the brink. The descent into authoritarianism in Austria. The tapestry of Austrian history in the early 1930s is woven with threads of economic despair, ideological clashes, and a descent into authoritarianism. We will explore the tumultuous events leading to the Austrian Civil War and the subsequent rise of the Fatherland Front, or Vaterländische Front, the VF, a one-party state that extinguished the embers of Austrian democracy. The Great Depression's icy grip tightened around Austria, plunging the nation into economic turmoil. Widespread unemployment and social unrest created fertile ground for the radicalization of political ideologies. On the left stood the Social Democratic Party, the SDAP, a champion of socialist reforms, finding strong support amongst the working class. On the right, the Christian Social Party, or CS, championed a more conservative vision, appealing to rural populations and the middle class. These ideological divides poisoned the political landscape. The fragile coalition government, strained by the economic crisis and unable to bridge the ideological chasm, fractured. Paramilitary groups affiliated with each party emerged, further escalating tensions. The Socialist Republican Schutzbund, a well-organized workers' defense force, clashed with the fascist-leaning Heimwehr, associated with the CS, in violent skirmishes on the streets of Vienna. These clashes served as a grim prelude to a more brutal conflict. In February 1934, the simmering tensions erupted into the February Uprising. The CS-led government, fearing a socialist revolution, launched a preemptive strike against the Schutzbund. The ensuing civil war, though brief, was a one-sided affair. The government, backed by the military, crushed the socialist movement with ruthless efficiency. This violent episode not only decimated the socialist political force but also delivered a devastating blow to Austrian democracy. In the aftermath of the Civil War, Engelbert Dollfuss, the CS leader, consolidated power. He dissolved the existing parliament and established the Fatherland Front, the VF. A one-party state modeled on fascist regimes like Italy's National Fascist Party. The VF, claiming to represent the unity of the Austrian nation, effectively outlawed all other political parties. This move silenced dissent and cemented Dollfuss's authoritarian rule. The VF's ideology was a complex web of influences: nationalism, authoritarianism, and elements of Catholic social teaching formed its core tenets. Anti-Semitism, though not as overtly virulent as in Nazi Germany, simmered within the VF ranks. The party emphasized traditional values, social order, and a strong national identity, appealing to a population yearning for stability in the wake of economic hardship and political violence. The VF implemented corporatist policies, aiming to integrate all sectors of society under state control. Labor unions and employer associations were dissolved and replaced with state-controlled organizations. This further eroded individual liberties and empowered the VF to dictate economic and social policies with an iron fist. The rise of the Fatherland Front marked a significant turning point in Austrian history. Democracy, already fragile, was extinguished. Austria's path towards fascism, though not as swift or brutal as in Germany, was firmly set. Dollfuss's regime, however, proved short-lived. In 1934, he was assassinated by Nazi sympathizers, further destabilizing the nation. Kurt Schuschnigg, Dollfuss's successor, pursued a policy of appeasement towards Nazi Germany, ultimately failing to prevent the Anschluss, the annexation of Austria by Germany in 1938. The Austrian Civil War and the subsequent rise of the Fatherland Front offer a stark lesson. They highlight the dangers of unchecked political polarization, the allure of authoritarianism in times of crisis, and the fragility of democracy. The echoes of this period continue to resonate today, reminding us of the importance of fostering tolerance, upholding democratic values, and addressing the root causes of social unrest to prevent a descent into violence and authoritarian rule. A night of blood and betrayal, the night of the long knives. The year 1934 marked a pivotal turning point in Nazi Germany. On a sweltering night in June, a brutal purge known as the Night of the Long Knives unfolded, solidifying Adolf Hitler's absolute control over the Nazi Party and the German state. We will delve into the complex web of factors that led to this violent episode, explore the methods employed during the purge, and analyze its lasting impact on the Nazi regime. One central factor leading to the Night of the Long Knives was the growing power and perceived threat posed by the Sturmabteilung, the SA, the Nazi Party's paramilitary wing. Led by Ernst Röhm, the SA had played a crucial role in Hitler's rise to power, intimidating opponents and organizing street violence. However, by 1934, the SA, with its undisciplined and often brutal tactics, had become a liability for Hitler. The SA's socialist leanings also clashed with Hitler's vision for a more centralized and authoritarian state. Furthermore, the Reichswehr, the German army, viewed the SA with suspicion and disdain. The military leadership, led by General Werner von Blomberg and Colonel General Walter von Reichenau, feared the SA's growing influence and saw it as a threat to their power. They pressured Hitler to curb the SA's influence, creating a climate of tension and fueling rumors of a potential SA coup. Hitler, a master manipulator, skillfully exploited these anxieties. He fabricated evidence suggesting a planned SA uprising led by Röhm, further fueling fears within the Reichswehr and Nazi leadership. This manufactured crisis provided Hitler with the opportunity to eliminate his rivals and consolidate his power. On June 30, 1934, the Schutzstaffel, or SS, an elite Nazi paramilitary force under the command of Heinrich Himmler, launched a surprise attack on SA leaders throughout Germany. Röhm was arrested at a vacation resort and later summarily executed. The purge extended beyond the SA, targeting political opponents, dissidents within the Nazi Party, and even some rivals within the military. Over the next 2 days, hundreds of people were murdered in cold blood, with estimates ranging from 85 to 200. The Night of the Long Knives was a brutal display of Hitler's ruthlessness and his willingness to eliminate anyone perceived as a threat. It sent a chilling message to the German people and the Nazi Party. Dissent would not be tolerated, and absolute loyalty to Hitler was paramount. The purge also solidified the power of the SS, which emerged as the primary enforcer of Nazi ideology and terror. The Night of the Long Knives had a profound impact on the Nazi regime. It dismantled any remaining vestiges of a power struggle within the Nazi Party, allowing Hitler to rule unchallenged. The purge also served as a harbinger of the violence and brutality that would become a hallmark of the Nazi regime, paving the way for later atrocities like the Kristallnacht pogroms and the Holocaust. The chilling events of the Night of the Long Knives offer a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the swift descent into violence that can occur under authoritarian rule. The episode underscores the importance of safeguarding democratic institutions and the rule of law to prevent the rise of dictatorships and the atrocities they unleash. A Desperate Odyssey, The Long March and the Remaking of the Chinese Communist Party. The annals of Chinese history are etched with tales of epic journeys, and none resonate with the same enduring power as the Long March of 1934 to 1936. This grueling odyssey, undertaken by the remnants of the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, was not a triumphant conquest, but a desperate retreat that reshaped the party's ideology, leadership, and ultimately, its path to power. The Long March was a consequence of the failure of the CCP's initial strategy of establishing communist Soviet republics in rural areas. By 1934, the nationalist government, led by Chiang Kai-shek, had launched a series of encirclement campaigns, forcing the CCP's main force, the Red Army, to abandon their base in Jiangxi province. Led by Mao Zedong, the CCP leadership made the audacious decision to embark on a strategic retreat, aiming to reach a new base area in Shanxi province in northwest China. The Long March was a brutal test of human endurance. Over a period of 2 years, the Red Army, numbering around 80,000 at the outset, traversed some 12,500 kilometers through some of China's most treacherous terrain: snow-capped mountains, scorching deserts, and vast swamplands. The constant threat of nationalist attacks, coupled with relentless hunger and harsh weather conditions, took a heavy toll. By the time the Red Army reached Shanxi, only around 10,000 to 30,000 soldiers remained, a testament to their resilience and unwavering commitment to the cause. Despite the immense hardships, the Long March had a profound impact on the CCP. It fostered a sense of camaraderie and shared sacrifice within the party, forging a deep bond between the leadership and the rank and file. The experience also solidified Mao Zedong's position as the preeminent leader within the CCP. His tactical brilliance and unwavering belief in guerrilla warfare were seen as key factors in the Red Army's survival. The Long March also marked a turning point in the CCP's ideology. Prior to the retreat, the party had adhered to a more orthodox Soviet model, emphasizing urban revolution. However, harsh realities of the Long March convinced Mao and other leaders of the need to adapt their strategy. They increasingly focused on building a base of support in the countryside and utilizing guerrilla warfare tactics against the nationalist forces. This shift towards Mao Zedong thought became a cornerstone of the CCP's ideology and would define its revolutionary strategy for decades to come. The Long March also had a significant impact on the CCP's relationship with the Chinese peasantry. As the Red Army traversed vast swathes of rural China, they engaged in propaganda campaigns, highlighting the corruption and brutality of the nationalist government. This tactic resonated with many peasants who were yearning for change and social justice. The Red Army's discipline and commitment to helping the poor further bolstered their image amongst the rural population. This growing support from the peasantry provided a crucial source of manpower and logistical assistance for the CCP in the years to come. The Long March's legacy extends beyond the realm of Chinese history. It stands as a potent symbol of perseverance and unwavering commitment to an ideal. The sheer scale and human cost of the journey continue to evoke a sense of awe and inspire reflection on the depths of human resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity. While the CCP's eventual rise to power was a complex phenomenon with numerous contributing factors, the Long March remains a pivotal chapter in its history, shaping its ideology, leadership, and ultimately, its path to revolution. In the next chapter, we will cover the military coup in Bolivia, as well as the Nuremberg laws, legislation that turned Germany into a racist state.